First up at UFC Vegas, 85. We have a couple of heavyweights. As Jacob said, start with the trash. Jacob hates heavyweight fights.
Whoa. I don't want them tagged in this and thinking that I'm calling them trash. I just don't really like heavyweight fights.
I said Jacob hates heavyweight fights.
Okay, well,
I can't wait to hear your breakdown.
Hey, these are big dudes.
I can't wait to hear your breakdown. Anyway, we have a couple of heavyweights. One of them, a prospect. We got Thomas Petersen taking on Jamal Pogues. Thomas Petersen, 8-1 overall, 4-1 in his last 5, riding a nice 3-fight win streak into his official UFC debut. Jamal Pogues, 10-4 overall, 3-2 in his last 5. He's coming off that loss to Mick Parkin. And this is an interesting fight because Thomas Petersen, clearly the guy the UFC is trying to push, test, see how good he actually is. He's a big guy. He's a wrestler. He's going to work everything from bear hugs to just actually shooting true wrestling doubles up the middle. Striking, not very good. Almost not there at all.
Who's that?
Thomas Petersen. He's going to close the gap, throwing big, huge, straight punches, try to get you to the cage or try to get close enough to wrap around you and get you to the ground. If he's just in a clinch situation, he's very, very busy. If he gets you to the ground, he is also very busy, and you can be in some trouble because he's got good control, good ground and pound. If he cannot get you to the ground, it's a problem. His striking is not very good. He is pretty one-dimensional, but he's only on his 9th ever MMA fight. He is coming off the 2nd-round submission win on the Contender Series, and that's what got him this slot on a UFC card. He's taking on Jamal Pogues. Jamal's a busy heavyweight. He's always working something. He's always throwing something with his hands. Good volume, decent pace. He doesn't really have that true one-punch knockout heavyweight power that you might expect, but he is always busy and he is always working something. He's not like particularly dangerous because he doesn't have that big one-punch knockout power, but he does set a really nice pace. He does work. He continues to move forward. He is coming off that loss, though, to Mick Parkin, where he looked uncharacteristically sloppy. Typically, Jamal Pogues, pretty buttoned up, pretty busy, didn't look himself.
That was disappointing. That was disappointing.
Right? He didn't look himself in that fight. Like, that just wasn't how he normally fights. And I am concerned that that's what's going to happen here. It feels like the UFC is saying, let's see how good Thomas Petersen is. Let's give him, you know, a gatekeeper kind of guy, a gatekeeper sort of talent. This is what they did with Mick Parkin. I think this is what they're doing with Thomas Petersen. I do think Thomas Petersen wins this fight. I think he's going to come forward, get a couple of takedowns, and then that's going to be the end of that fight. Jamal Pogues doesn't have that. If he had that big one-punch knockout power, that Derek Lewis power, the fight-changing power, it'd be a very different pick and very different insight. But he doesn't really have that power. So I think Thomas can just literally march forward, get it to the ground, and then work from there. So Thomas Petersen is the pick. I do have him in a sketchy parlay, but I'll give you the other half of that parlay in a second. What do you think, Jakey Boombaloots?
Yeah, you kind of preluded it a little bit, but I'm just not a big fan of heavyweight fights, especially when neither guy is really a finisher. That's why I was surprised that this line was a 1.5 line. Obviously, it's minus 240. It's juiced a little bit, but these two guys, I don't, Thomas Petersen is a wrestler, right? He's not really a jiu-jitsu finisher. I know he has finishes and stuff like that, and he's not really, as you mentioned, adverse on the feet. Is that, I don't even know that's adverse on the feet.
Just versed. He's not versed.
He's versed. Okay, relax. You know?
Well, you said adverse, which is the opposite of versed.
I was just trying to say a word, and this is the attitude I was talking about earlier in the day. If you carrying over into the stream, I asked you if it was right, and the attitude you brought back to me.
And I answered it was not correct. That Indiana education is catching up to you at an incredible pace, honestly.
So Thomas Petersen is a wrestler, not really a finisher. And as you mentioned, Jamal Pogues isn't really a finisher either, right? He can get takedowns. He can do some stuff on the ground. He should be, as you mentioned, a volume striker, but sometimes he isn't at sometimes. But I don't think either one of these guys is a finishing guy. So the play I like here is over 1.5, and my pick has to be Thomas because he should technically be the better wrestler. And both these guys that's kind of what they want to do. And I think Thomas is going to be able to get the takedowns and the control. It could turn sloppy. This could easily be a sloppy, close heavyweight fight, but I think Thomas is going to be able to get the takedowns, get the control. I fully expect this probably going to a decision. I like the over 1.5 on this, and then, Thomas is going to be my pick, but, I mean, it's heavyweights, and neither one of these guys is, like, overly dominant anywhere, so it's like, I don't know what we're doing.
I completely agree on the over 1.5. Neither one of these guys are insanely dangerous. Obviously, Thomas Petersen, if he gets it to the ground, these are heavyweights. Jamal's going to have to move and move quickly because that's a big man laying on top of him, raining down punches. That could be an issue. The white is better than the yellow. You're already pretty yellow.
I'm trying to figure out because I feel like I look a lot more.
The white
pale
is
than
better. Yeah,
normal.
I take the pale over the bright red though. Honestly,
they told me that scar was going to go away.
it did not. It's like enhanced.
He's like, don't worry, I'm. He literally touted himself as like a plastic surgeon. Like the way I stitch this up, it's gonna be disappear in 3 months.
They didn't even take skin from anywhere else, right? They just left a gaping hole and pulled it together tight.
Yeah, inside stitches too, inside stitches and outside stitches.
Yeah,
so.
I mean it was big. It actually looks good, and you have freckles and a beard, so it's not that big of a deal. But it was big. When you first got that, I was like, holy shit!
First time people see it, that's usually how it goes.
Yeah, it's how jagged. Why is it so crooked? We're on the same page here. Thomas Petersen for the win. I mentioned I got him in a little bit of a parlay. $8,700 in DraftKings is interesting though because while he may not be the most dangerous heavyweight in the game, $8,700 is not that much money, and DraftKings loves grapplers. If Tommy Peets gets a couple of takedowns, a little bit of control time, potentially a submission, all of a sudden Tommy Peets is worth that $8,700. He's going to be in your DraftKings lineup.
Is that your thing now?
Oh, yeah, I'm just making up nicknames. Mikey Mal. You going to answer the question or?
Yeah, did you say something?
You going to spend the $8,700 on Thomas Petersen for DraftKings?
That's probably pretty good upside. What did you say?
That the wrestling could make it worth it?
Yeah, because it's not like Jamal is clueless. If he gets taken down, I don't think he's going to be flat on his flat on his back.
Work his way back up?
Yeah, I think he can work his way back up. I think that's more.
I do understand the line closing on itself. Open minus 270, sitting around minus 163 right now. I do understand that. That makes sense to me. He is a UFC debut, and that's why my parlay with him is with another UFC debut. If you want to unlock that parlay and everything else that we do, WeWantPicks.com, click Become a Member. It is only $10 a month. We're about to hit an 11, 12-week stretch with fights every single Saturday. That $10 is going to get you 4 events. 4 events for that $10. $2.50 a freaking event.
That means just my picks, because I know everyone's pretty much here for just my picks at this point. My picks for one card. You can, scoff if you want, but
I did better than you the last 2 weeks.
That's the narrative.
The last 3 weeks.
Oh, you think so, huh? You think so, huh?
Yes, correct.
You think so?
Yes, I do.
Incorrect on all accounts. Incorrect on all accounts. But so let me get through this. So obviously people are here for me because Andrew's making stuff up at this point. My picks for this upcoming card, 37 cents. $10 a month. With everyone involved, all the stuff involved, 37 cents for my picks. There you go.
I mean, it is genuinely.
If I'm not worth 37 cents to you people, fuck off.
Sure. Before you go, let me give you $50. Anybody who goes to WeWantPicks.com/bets and signs up with any one of our affiliate partners gets $50 as a thank you. Use the link, sign up, make a deposit. We send you $50 as a thank you.